Content warning. This episode of Will at Homestuck includes adult language, complete spoilers for Kingdom Hearts, as much as you can anyways, spoilers for the climax of Frozen 2, cross-media Norting, discussion of misogyny, codpiece mention, David Gilbertian language, the T in Gilbertian is soft like s, and the liberal use of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 3 canon. Listener discretion is advised. Big thanks to Danny the Spoonlord, Fleece, Kylo Ren, Sin, John Riley, Starshine, and Sylpha Breath, our $5 and up patrons for helping out with the show. Our theme song, Sunbanger, is by @_Tittle on Instagram. Will at Homestuck streams fanfiction from Homestuck and other fandoms every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time on their Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Will at Homestuck. Hope to see you there and enjoy the show. Is it even possible to spoil Kingdom Hearts completely? I feel like there's too much fucking nonsense plot in this that it is literally impossible for you to tell someone exactly what happens in Kingdom Hearts.
You're not wrong, and I hate that. God, why can't it just be simple?
Why can't it just be simple and clean? Let's just start off with, I guess, the most important thing, and that's asking is, who are you?
I'm Mo, or Merc, and I am comfortable with the he or they pronouns. Thank you very much.
And I am Minty. I use she, her pronouns for the most part. First off, we are recording an episode of Will at Homestuck about the great and wonderful, incredibly simple story. You know, it's honestly quite fascinating how easy it is to understand, like, this wonderful video game that Nomura has brought to us. And, you know, we're class-specting Kingdom Hearts. You know, what could possibly go wrong? How hard can this possibly be?
Everything. Everything could go wrong because it's Kingdom Hearts freaking 2.
That's true. And so the plot of Kingdom Hearts is just kind of, well, so there's a guy. Let me see if I can try and get my shot at this, and then you can also, like, try and throw your shot at this. So there's this guy named Xehanort, and he's like, I want a lot of friends because I have no friends at all. And he tries to make so many friends with people, but it turns out that he's really not that good at making his friends. So he says to himself, you know who would probably get along with me? Me. And so he, using, I guess, time travel and also possession, he just kind of like Norts a bunch of people and turns them into him.
Minty, wait. Okay, that is you're basically just describing what happened in Dream Drop Distance. That is not like Kingdom Hearts 2. Okay, let me explain. Okay, let me explain what happens in Kingdom Hearts 2. So, if you know nothing about Kingdom Hearts 1, this is going to be very annoying, and half of it won't be explained until later on when I'm done. So, here's how it starts. The game starts off with you starting off as a kid named Roxas in a town called Twilight Town. You're basically just spending the last days of your summer vacation, just chilling out with your friends. But things start to go weird as it seems that you are in a simulation done by this guy who goes by the name Diz, and apparently Ansem from the previous game, Kingdom Hearts 1. But as you go through the Twilight Town, the digital Twilight Town, you start to discover that you are a part of another person, which is named Sora, as in the protagonist from Kingdom Hearts 1. And after
now tell me, yes. Mo, how does that happen?
Okay. Here's what happens. Roxas is part of Sora because of something that happened in what I believe to be the third game in the series of Kingdom Hearts, which is 358 days, as in the one about the organization members, who I do not remember all the names of, so I'm just going to say about 13 of them, or 14, I don't know. So Roxas is Sora's nobody. What is a nobody? Well, it's a simple thing, really. You know what a heartless is? It's what happens when you lose your heart to darkness, so you turn into a heartless. But what happens to the body? Like, we need an explanation for that. It could have just been a dead body, but we made it into something called a nobody. And apparently, if you become really powerful, you can become part of the organization, as in a really strong nobody. Anyway, by the end of Roxas's summer in the digital Twilight Town, you become one with Sora again, and you slowly go through a bunch of Disney worlds and fight a bunch of heartless and nobodies. I don't feel like explaining the stuff that happens in the worlds in the Disney worlds because it's just a bunch of Disney crap and nostalgia. So going on forward, what the main story ends up being is that you are helped by defeating Heartless. You are helping the organization create the moon version of the Kingdom Hearts, which is a moon because Ansem wanted it to be a moon for some reason.
I don't know why it's a moon. Why is it a moon, Nomura? What did you do? What do you have with moons? I love you, Nomura, but please, come on, Yeah, and from what I know, in that Kingdom Hearts 2, Goofy fucking dies. And then there is also, I think, gosh, am I thinking about Kingdom Hearts 3? I might be thinking about Kingdom Hearts 3. I had to refresh myself on Kingdom Hearts for this wonderful, delightful, beautiful project that we're completing here today, and I watched probably about an entire day's worth, like 24 solid hours worth of Kingdom Hearts analysis, plot re-synopsises, and also just all of the cutscenes from Kingdom Hearts 2 for some reason.
I did do that too, but the joke about it is that I just got so tired of watching Kingdom Hearts cutscenes that I didn't finish watching all of the cutscenes until the very last day, because I was like, I cannot watch all of these cutscenes in one day. It just gets so boring, because half of it's just rewatching Disney movies in crappy poly, what's the word? It's not like I'm watching Kingdom Hearts 3 where you get to watch Elsa sing Let It Go, but like Sora and Donald and Goofy are watching it. It's like really weird.
Yeah, that is. I think I've only watched my partner play Kingdom Hearts 3 before, but what is? It's just Frozen. It's just Frozen. Is Kingdom Hearts 4 gonna come out? We're gonna get Frozen 2, and then we get to see Elsa fucking die, and then Olaf also die too? Is Anna gonna listen, hot take, if there is ever a Frozen 2, Anna has to get turned to darkness. Anna gets Norted.
Olaf gets Norted.
No, absolutely no. You're right though. I hate that. You can't.
I like dark hugs.
Hi, I'm Ola Nort, and I like stabbing people with my stick arms. I don't know, what is Xehanort gonna do with Olaf's body? It's a literal snowman with stubby twig arms and stuff in a carrot. Is he gonna stab someone with the carrot? I don't know. What is the I don't want sorry, I just thought Olaf Keyblade, and that was a cursed, very, very cursed image inside my brain because it's just made of sticks.
Wait, no, it would be made out of sticks, but the key part would be made out of carrots.
Fuck, you're right. Oh my gosh. This is incredibly dumb and stupid, and oh god. No. This is very good. This is Ola Nort. Gosh, fucking Ola Nort. Okay.
Wait,
Ola Nort. Kingdom Hearts 2 plot. How does Kingdom Hearts 2 end?
What? Oh, right. Where was I? Crap, where was I? I was like, so Sora was I remember saying that Sora by defeating Heartless, he was helping an organization to create the Moon Kingdom Hearts, which I'm not going to talk about how stupid it is, so let's continue on. Either way, Sora finds himself in the world promptly named The World That Never Was, as in the organization's world because nobodies are not existing, yet they are existing. It's stupid. Anyway, he goes to that world, he fights some organization members, he fights off Ansem, who, if you want to know the annoying part of this, is Xehanort. It is Xehanort's nobody. And I'm not explaining anything else about the freaking Xehanorts because it gets so... Yeah, actually, I'm probably going to have to explain it later. Anyway, that is Xehanort's nobody, and of course he has a Heartless, which you saw in Kingdom Hearts 1, who was Ansem. Actually, let me...
Now, is that Ansem Seeker of Darkness or Ansem possessed by Xehanort? Because there's two different Ansems, if I recall.
No!
Do we even know? Possibly not.
Two freaking Ansems!
I don't... Okay, like, how many... I'm just gonna Google this right now. This is gonna pick up on my mic. I am so sorry. How many Ansems are in Kingdom Hearts? There is Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, who is Ansem's nobody. I think Ansem passes on his ability to time travel to Xehanort's young self. Terra Xehanort, at the time using his king's name, Ansem, willingly gave his heart to darkness in the pursuit of knowledge, creating both his Heartless and his nobody, Xemnas. So I think there is, at the very...
There's only one. It sounds like there's only one.
Yeah, and there's more than one Ansem, but for our purposes, I think we are referring to Ansem Seeker of Darkness. No, there's Ansem the Wise and Ansem Seeker of Darkness. Ansem the Wise is the one who is in Kingdom Hearts 1, where you get all like the logs from. And then Ansem Seeker of Darkness.
Kingdom Hearts 2, like I mentioned in the beginning when I was explaining the plot, okay, Riku looks like Ansem for the majority of the game and sounds like Ansem because he gave into darkness, and he looks like Ansem because Ansem possessed him in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Gosh, right, because he possessed Riku as well, or somebody possessed Riku as well. Somebody possessed Riku, and Riku looks like a big old man. Riku looks like Ansem Seeker of Darkness inside.
But like, it is because he gave into darkness, and his full-on darkness side is Ansem. But thanks to some Deus Ex Machina crap with Ansem the Wise blasting a heart device into the Heart Moon, it turns Riku into regular-looking Riku, and he's wearing there's a part where he throws off his like organization coat, and his outfit is like, it's better than Kingdom Hearts 1, but it's like, why are there two zippers on other end of the zipper? Why? It's such a confusing design. He's like wearing a vest, and there's a zipper at the end of the zipper. There's a zipper at the end of what the zipper is, and then it's how do you take that off? I love it.
Nomura, the character designs for Kingdom Hearts just really, really like zippers for some reason. But, I mean, hey, hold on. Let's not get confused regular Riku with replica Riku, or Ansem Riku,
real.
or Xehanort Riku,
or
Riku with a funny hat, because they're all different Rikus.
What do you mean?
Have you never seen the Riku with a silly hat theory?
Oh my god.
There's an actual real theory.
No,
I'm just fucking... There's no... But there is way too many Rikus. But how many Soras are there? One. Wait, hold on. Fuck.
We have Xion. We have... give me a second. We have Xion. We have Roxas. We have...
Because in Kingdom Hearts 1, both Kairi's heart is inside of Sora, and also...
Kairi is inside of me?
Yeah, Kairi is inside of me, but not in a gross way, just kind of in the Kingdom Hearts way, which is honestly the best way. And I think he also has, who's Ventus? I think Ventus's heart, whoever the fuck Ventus is.
Okay.
And Vanitas as well.
Yeah, it's very weird, because it's like, we have...
And Roxas looks like Ventus, and Vanitas looks like Sora? For some reason, I don't understand Kingdom Hearts.
I'm not even kidding you. I was so confused. Like, me playing freaking Birth by Sleep was basically like, hey, that looks like Sora. Why does that look like Sora? I'm just sitting there like, I'm just looking at my brother like, why does that look like Sora? And he's just looking like, I don't freaking know.
So we explained the plot of Kingdom Hearts 2 in 20 minutes, which honestly I think is a record at some point. But Next up comes classpecting, which honestly I think is kind of the fun part.
This one's weird because I just what I want. I like everything to be in an organized order. So what I did was I purposely put everyone into a group of 4 because everybody's in a group of 3 and that's uneven. So how would you even be able to go into a spur game if there weren't 4? So like a bunch of characters that basically have no personality have class.
Yes, this is true. I mean, I have an idea for the session that I think is pretty spicy that'll probably hit you out when we get there. But how about we start with the big, beautiful boy himself, Sora. So Sora, his class, I am a little iffy on. I don't entirely know how to put this, but Sora is hope. Like, Sora is either a maid of hope or a page of hope. And I understand that assigning him page of hope assigns him Jake English, and Jake English is it's wholly inaccurate. So I'm a little bit more leaning towards maid of hope, because Sora is just a complete idiot that won't give up, and he's all about friendship and believing yourself, and his powers eventually expand through his arc, and he eventually succeeds in Kingdom Hearts 3 or 2, because like when you play Kingdom Hearts 1, Sora is just kind of like this namby-pamby baby that can't do a single fucking thing other than hit 3 times in a row and then complete a finisher. By the time you're playing like Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, like you are flipping through the air, you're flying, you're locking onto people, summoning something out of nowhere, you're on a boat suddenly. I don't know why Sora's on a boat, but like everything about him to me screams hope. He creates hope. I mean, there is a funny, I think, classpect to be given to Sora where he is made of heart. If we're going by like the Kingdom Hearts terminology, but like this is Homestuck terminology, so he's a little bit more hope. If say that Homestuck didn't exist and the class spec system existed inside Kingdom Hearts and had its own terminology and stuff, I am 100% certain that he would be made of heart because of just how many people are inside this boy.
Okay, well I also have him as a heart player, but I'm going with stealth, mainly because of course he's very hopeful and he brings people hope, but like he's more within heart because of multiple versions of himself and because he heals hearts, he heals friendships, and he brings people together. That's like his whole thing.
Okay, I see you there. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I kind of like Paige. I mean, he does do a lot of healing.
Yeah.
But like he does more healing than Donald, which honestly anybody can do more healing than Donald. Give Goofy a shit ton of potions and suddenly he's a better healer than Donald ever will be.
Yeah.
But like is healing like his main entire deal? Is that like the focus of his character?
I mean, I wouldn't really like. I just described Sora as someone that desperately wants to help people, which isn't like he desperately wants to help people and he wants to get to people so things can be better. It's not exactly healing, but in a way it's healing. If anything, it's more blood than anything.
Okay.
I guess you could either go with heart or blood, but blood's probably more close because it's like a bond type thing. So I guess I'll switch it over to Self of Blood.
Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better because like heart in Homestuck is very, very like self-oriented. Like blood is like the bonds and your friendships with like other people.
Because Sora's not like conceited or trying to figure out himself. He knows himself. That's like his whole thing. He's a happy-go-lucky dork that knows himself and is just loves having his friends around him to help him and bring them together. His freaking friends are his power.
Yeah, his friends are his power, and like the bonds and the stuff that he goes around with just kind of like pulls him in as a person and like sandwiches him together, because ultimately like even the plot of Kingdom Hearts is like Sora just going around making friends with people inside Disney worlds. And you know, we don't really have time to classpect every single Disney character, and also I really don't want to do that. I don't want to classpect Hercules' horse.
Okay, but like it's a waste of time to classpect the Disney characters because like, sure, half of them appear in Kingdom Hearts 1 and then Kingdom Hearts 2, but then you go to, like, Birth by Sleep, and then all of that's kind of just older Disney movies, and then they're never seen again. It's like a one-off thing.
They're literal nobodies that are just there for a set piece. There's nothing to them. But like those characters and Sora's relationship with those characters really do define him because of it. Like his key. You know what? Yeah, actually, I think I do like Sylph of Blood. I think ultimately he would be a little bit more active, an active Sylph,
Yes.
which is a contradiction. I think that's just a maid at that point.
So, I guess, Maid of Blood?
Made of blood? I mean, because he does literally weaponize the bonds that he has with people with his Keyblade.
Oh, yeah. True. Because he literally gets a different Keyblade from each world, as in it's a bond that he got from going through these adventures with his friends.
Yeah. And like he has to, because the thing about maids, at least at the very least, from what I've seen and with what Optimistic Duelist says is like maids serve their aspect first, and then kind of like succeed it. And like we could take the reading of Sora having to like hold his best friends inside of his heart for the longest time, and that like as kind of like that service, but also like on a more micro sense, he has to serve the Disney characters in order to gain that weapon.
True. Oh, that's good.
Are we feeling good about Made of Blood then?
Yeah, I think we could stick with that one.
Okay. I have Riku next on my list.
Okay, well, for him, I have Knight of Doom.
Ooh, I want to hear your reasoning for that.
Basically, I chose Knight of Doom for Riku is because it seems like no matter what situation he's put in, like no matter how much he tries to like drift away from like the darkness or whatever, he'll find himself kind of just stuck in a situation where he's doomed to like protect people.
Okay.
He can never get a break, especially when Sora decides to just go F off in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I like that. I like the idea of that, and I think it's funny because I went a completely opposite direction for Riku, which I really think just kind of like shows the depth of these characters that we've got here. Like Doom, I like what you're saying there, like because he goes down like in darkness. My brain has settled Riku in a single zone, and I think this is probably going to spoil something that we've got later here, but I have Riku down as a rogue of light. Mostly because when I was looking over Riku, I kind of like went back and forth between Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Chain of Memories, because I know we were only doing like Kingdom Hearts 2, but this beautiful boy has like a very, very rich character, like Chain of Memories and stuff, and I feel like when it comes down to it, like Riku steals the spotlight from other people. Riku like is an edgy boy who makes a lot of bad decisions in Kingdom Hearts 1 that eventually screw over Sora, but ultimately what his role inside the story is serving to steal the spotlight for himself, but really it just lifts up his friends around him. He's like fallen from literal light and then continues to try to like make himself relevant by stepping into the story, but ultimately it's for the benefit of others around him. Like in Chain of Memories, like Riku's arc is really just to kind of like make Sora's arc feel more bearable, but also just kind of like show that Mickey is here and actually alive and with him.
Wow. Okay. I just never considered, like, I just kind of, like, it's just a really good explanation. I picked Knight of Doom because I just saw him as someone that would constantly protect, but all he really has done is just kind of steal the spotlight while bringing light to his friends.
I like the knight aspect because he does have the knightly facade that exists there. Like, I think that there's definitely a reading for, like, knight there. I just really like Rogue of Light because he is kind of like a little bit of a scoundrel. He is just kind of like a little bit of a shit boy inside Kingdom Hearts 1. How many hours did people spend trying to beat Riku in Kingdom Hearts 1? I imagine probably far too many.
He really is. He's just like a little a-hole.
He's just a little asshole.
Now it's 45-0.
Incredible.
Yeah,
how do we feel about that?
You know what? It's a really good class spec. I'm gonna change it. Just give me a second.
All right. Who do we want to do next? I've got Kairi on here. I'm not I'm really not too certain about Kyrie because ultimately she just really doesn't do anything.
But we can change that because this is basically fan fiction.
This is true.
I'm really happy she's doing stuff now in the current game because God, am I disappointed.
Yeah, Nomura, what the hell?
But currently I have Kyrie as a page of void.
Ooh, yes, please go on.
Okay, I have her as a page of void because it's a bit ironic because I just said, Kyrie really doesn't do anything, but she wants to do something. Like for example, near the end where they're in the world that never was, Kyrie says when she gets Keyblade, "Now I'll fight," but she doesn't do anything but just kind of toss around the Keyblade she's given, and in the previous game, she was literally just kind of there to be a damsel in distress. So basically, she is a void player because Nomura and the game itself are forcing her to become irrelevant, and she hasn't reached her full potential. That's what I got.
I had her written down as like a Maid of Heart, but like you say Page of Void, and I'm like, oh my gosh, fuck that. I mean, I just like Maid of Heart. It's just a good class spec. But like as a Void player, she isn't even inside Kingdom Hearts 1 until the very end. And even then she pulls like Sora out from irrelevancy, like via the heartless bullshit scene when like Sora is like a heartless. And acts as like a complete and total void player because nobody knows where the fuck she is. Like nobody knows where Kyrie is inside like Kingdom Hearts 1 at all. Not even Sora, not even there. They cannot find the Princess of Light. They have her body, but her heart is gone. And it's like, oh, where is that? And like, no, it's just in Sora. But like void players, like typically in Homestuck, usually have like a lot of like obscuring powers. Like Roxy does, and the ability to make her entire session a void session. Or Equius with the ability, his blood was just used to like make, gosh, what is it? To like cover up and obscure details from the original Homestuck story in Calliope's book there. I really, really like her as a void player because she's kind of like this hidden badass that really isn't there for like most of the story. She's just kind of like slowly gaining powers like a page of void would.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought I was gonna be terrible at class vectors, but so far I'm doing pretty good.
I just watch a lot of Optimistic Duelists, and I watch the videos like several times, and then also just shove a bunch of like Homestuck content down my gob like every single moment. And me and my partner just kind of like classpect the things we watch just for fun. I think we did Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm gonna record like an episode with Clever at some point with that. And then we just like are working on She-Ra right now, and like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's really fun. It's just media analysis. Do we want to move on? That's Sora, Riku, and Kyrie.
Wait. Okay, remember how I said I put everyone into a group of 4?
Yes.
So I added Nominate to the Destiny trio because I wanted a even number. Do you have class spec for her or no?
I do. I think this one is going to be a little bit, I don't know if it's controversial, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay, you can go first.
Okay. All right. So I have Nominee down as a Bard of Light. Let me, yeah, I hear you. You're like, huh. Let me explain. So we all know exactly what Nominee does in Chain of Memories and, you know, in Kingdom Hearts 2 is that she completely and utterly, like, destroys people's memories.
True.
Or does she? Because one of the things that she did in Chain of Memories that I have like latched onto here, and I am holding this onto it, wrapped with my body wrapped around it, just kind of like this tiny little theory, is that she completely like blanks Jiminy's journal. Completely. It's gone.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
that was written down there is gone. And it was destroyed by her. And she destroys what is true in a person in their story to the point of outright erasing that journal there. And then she creates new memories. I feel like there's also one as a Maid of Light, but the destruction of the memories I feel like is more important. She's forced to do this though, and ultimately it doesn't benefit her in any way, so she's like a little bit more passive than active, and she's just kind of doing it before she's forced to. And she destroys what is canon and forces it to be remade, which might also mean she's a maid. Like, I think Maid of Light is also a reading here, but Bard of Light I really, really like, because she's a little bit of just kind of like a wily bastard for like most of the game. And I know she, inside the fandom, that like she is kind of like being like, yeah, fuck nominee. But like, I don't know. She does it for the benefit of other people. It's not exactly active, so she's not a Prince of Light.
Yeah, definitely not. But like people hate nominee?
Yeah, people hate nominee. I don't like it.
Aww.
She's cute. I like her.
I love nominee. She's just trying her best.
She's just trying her best, and she's put inside of a bad situation here. Nominee deserves better. And also, she's a Bard of Light. Is there probably something to be said about the codpiece? Yeah, listen, she doesn't have to wear the codpiece. Nominee can wear whatever the hell she wants. I don't want to think about that fan art. Do not draw fan art of this, or I will find you.
Okay. Sorry, I can't help but imagining it. Oh gosh, darn.
Oh fuck! No, what have I done? No, stop! We have to go further. Your class spec. Go.
Curse you, Gamzee. So I originally had Witch of Space, but I'm gonna change it to Witch of Light. How about that?
Ooh. Okay, I see you there. It's a little bit more of like a manipulation of light. Okay.
Yeah. My original thought for nominee was basically, I'm going to be dead honest with you, I kind of didn't know much about nominee other than the fact that she was able to manipulate things around her. So I immediately said, oh, space, that works. And then I just kind of ignored nominee because I didn't know much about nominee. And then hearing you talk about it, I was like, let's just change it to light and it will work perfectly.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like that. Like, you threw witch at me, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that is kind of like a little bit more fitting, because like witches are the witches are the ones who change. So she changes knowledge, she changes like memory, she changes the chain of memories that existed in Kingdom Hearts 1 to the point where I honestly think that Kingdom Hearts 1 happened differently. Like in the canon of Kingdom Hearts proper. I think that's canon. I don't know, because Kingdom Hearts 1 story just kind of doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like every time I think about, like, I've had it explained to me like so many times, and then had it explained to me in like a joke form, and then I was like, what? Why is she a princess?
Yeah, see, the thing, my very, very first experience with Kingdom Hearts was that I played Kingdom Hearts 1 on a PS2 a couple years ago. My friend had lent it to me and said, here, I think you'd really like this. And I played it. And you know what? I had a really, really good time. Some of the stages, complete total garbage. Fuck Agrabah. Fuck the jungle stage with Tarzan. Don't like those. But like, I played it and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. This is kind of nice. And then the plot happened. And I got unreasonably angry at it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What does this mean? And then Ansem was a boat. And I was like, I stared at it. I stared at boat Ansem, and I was like, why are you a boat? And then Ansem said, become one with darkness. And I just said, please, I have kids, Ansem, please. And then I beat boat Ansem. I got to the end of the story with the credits and stuff, and I hated it. I hated Kingdom Hearts. Fuck Kingdom Hearts 1 was what young Minty said. And now I kind of like played it after one of my partners really liked it and was like, started streaming it. I was like, okay, I see this. I see the appeal of this, because before that, I just wasn't really that into Homestuck. When it's come from a Homestuck perspective, that Kingdom Hearts is just Homestuck, will it Homestuck? Yes, it will. Because Kingdom Hearts is just bullshit. It's just a bunch of bullshit events that happen kind of like in a somewhat chronological instance. There's a bunch of time travel bullshit, and there's just a bunch of other bullshit that really just doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
And it's just Kingdom Hearts, baby.
I mean, yeah, but the thing about Kingdom Hearts is that it takes itself seriously. Homestuck knows that it's stupid. Kingdom Hearts is like, everything makes sense, and that makes sense with that, and that makes sense with that. So it makes sense, right?
To an extent, yes. There's some parts where I'm like, all right, so Ansem, you just wanted a lot of friends, so you Norted a boy. Okay. Everybody's seen the Brian David Gilbert void where you you Nord a boy. You just Nord a boy.
Oh my god, I forgot about that scene. I need to watch that again.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
completely forgot.
Do we want to move to the next character?
Oh right, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Crap.
This is good audio.
So this is gonna get weird. Okay, so I moved on to the Twilight Town gang, and yes, I have all four of them here, including Roxas. But considering all of them are basically just blank, let me just go through the ones from Twilight Town because it's going to be extremely short. Because all of them basically have no personality, and I just wrote a few notes explaining why I even class spec them to begin with, because I just want four groups of people to work. So quickly, I have Hayner. He is a Knight of Blood, which I have written here, which says Carcat, but more of a punk with nicer hair. Move on
Okay.
to Pence.
Pete, you said?
No, I said Hayner.
Hayner. Gosh.
Oh,
Oh, right. The Twilight Town gang. I didn't fucking touch those kids.
yeah, yeah. I just wanted four kids to be work together because I have an idea for how I want the session to go. But okay, like I said, I'm gonna go through this quick. Okay, like I said, Knight of Blood for Hayner. Then we go into Pince, Seer of Breath, because there's a part where we're going through like Roxas's in the digital Twilight Town, and basically he's like, what if they wanted to steal the real Roxas or something? And it's like, that was kind of insightful. And then the rest of it's just like he's also kind of good with computers, so Breath, because even though June is terrible with computers, it's still something. Then we move on to Roxas. So you can do Roxas because I'm just doing this from the straight line down I have. So what do you have for Roxas?
So, the Roxas is kind of hard because he's only in the story for just a little bit. Like, I feel like 358/2 is probably where we can get like an adequate characterization for him. I feel like he is a knight. I feel like he is a knight of void or a knight of heart, if that makes sense. Like, the nobodies are really, really hard, and I have an idea for them in the session that I think is really, really cool. And I think ultimately what they are just, I think I want to give Roxas Knight of Void. Because, like, as a nobody, they don't exactly have a heart, they don't really have a self. And he has, like, a little bit of a facade with this. Honestly, I would be willing to say that every single nobody is actually a Knight of Void, because every single one of them has this facade that they don't have feelings, that they don't have emotions, that they don't think about things. Like Axel, there's probably a class spec for Axel that we could go off of that isn't just kind of like, oh yeah, there's nothing here. But at assigning them, they're all Knights of Void. And we can get into that later, or in the second episode. Okay, yeah, I think I want to give him Knight of Void, but I think he is a true Knight of Void, because he feels like he is obscured. He feels like he obscures the story. Oh gosh, what is it? Where is the thing? The Knight. Yeah, he serves nothing. He serves nobody. He serves, like, obscurity. He doesn't really go anywhere with his arc in Kingdom Hearts 2. And in the other games, there isn't really much for him. Yeah. I'm sure there's something that we could get with him. But this is Kingdom Hearts 2, baby, what we're class specting, even though I've put in details from Kingdom Hearts 3. Don't at me.
Okay, but for me, I was thinking Mage of Rage. Put a little rhyme in there. But I went with Mage of Rage mainly because while you say there's not a lot to work with Roxas in this game, there's tons to work with in here. He is literally just completely put into a situation he thinks is real. He doesn't know that what he is going through is not his actual, like, existing life. I put mage because I believe, because as far as what I can tell about mages, is that they're kind of put in a situation that sucks, such as with Mulin being, like, manipulated by her, what is it, Maid's Girl? I don't know much about the ancestors.
She is
but
Mage of Heart because she knows the self, I think. The mage class is the active knowing, I think. Yeah, it is the active knowing.
But like that's the thing with Roxas, he knows something's wrong. He gets angry at every second. Like he's like, "What is going on? Why is this happening? I'm so tired of this bull." And like it brings me back to the part where he's still in the data world and he finds like the secret lab underneath the mansion and he just starts breaking the computer because he's so mad. He doesn't understand what's going on. He's just so sick of everything not going right. He was just supposed to enjoy the last few days he had of summer vacation, and then all of this happens. What's going on? And then near the part where it completely ends, and then Diz is there. He's like, "Oh, it's time for her to join Sora," and he's like, "F that, I'm gonna be me." And then he sees Sora, and he's just like, "Well, shiz, I guess it's time to die then. I mean, join Sora." He doesn't die, but you know what I mean. Like he joins Sora.
Objectively, how many like nobodies really live is the thing, because a lot of them do just kind of like beef it in this game.
Yeah, all of them just kind of say deuces. They all just kind of get wrecked and then proceed to fade away into its obscurity until Kingdom Hearts 3.
Exactly. So yeah, I think Mage of Rage is like a really good class pick for him. I will put that down here. Now I did as well. Wait. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to do the last one, which is Olette, which is Made of Hope.
Ooh.
I gave Olette Made of Hope. I guess she just kind of is like there to kind of cheer up her friends, because all I could get from her character basically was she is the girl in the group and that is it.
Yeah, that's kind of the role that she plays. Yeah.
So Made of Hope, because she's kind of there to just kind of be the perky and cheery one, so she serves her friends by making them happy. Simple.
Did you do one for Donald, Goofy, and Mickey?
Okay, it's just when you had said that Donald and Goofy were basically just like didn't really do anything other than just kind of be guardians to Sora, I crossed them out, but I can still see them. So do you just want to hear them anyway?
I mean, we don't really need to get down to them because, like, realistically, that is what they are. They're just kind of like, they would definitely be guardian figures in like Sora's session. How about we do? I mean, I want to do this because I have a lot written down for it, but Xehanort and Mickey.
Oh, you class-spected Xehanort? Okay.
I did, yes.
I didn't do that, but it's a good thing because what happened was I was thinking about Birth by Sleep, and I was thinking, I wonder what the class specting would be like in that game. And I was like, well, clearly Xehanort has to be a lord.
Maybe. So.
And that's it.
So, I want to... Can we start with Mickey? Because Mickey is where I feel like I hit hard. And Xehanort he's a little bit weaker, but... So, Mickey... This is where I'm going with, and you'll probably see exactly where I'm going with the other one then, but Mickey is a lord of space. Mickey is ultimately alone for the most of his journey inside Kingdom Hearts, and like that is like something that is very, very typical for like space players, is like the loneliness aspect. We see the fully ascended muse of space, Calliope, out there, and she's just kind of like by herself. She never had any single friends. We've got the space player, real Calliope that isn't dead, who is just kind of like by herself. She has nobody else for her, and she's just got her friends on the internet. We've got Jade, who's just been stuck on the island for her entire life. We've got Kanaya, who is like basically supposed to be a nun for the rest of her life, according to like Hive Swap lore. Space players are alone, and so is Mickey. Now, all of the things that happen with him are very, very creation and art centered. Like in Kingdom Hearts 2 with the Timeless River, like his arc, his usefulness inside there isn't exactly there isn't much to it. He's just kind of like helping there. He's just kind of like a little bit of a wily bastard. And as we see, like he is like present through a lot of different time periods, like then with the Musketeers and like Dream Drop Distance and like a few of the other games, but he lacks the control of time but commands space himself by showing up throughout the narrative, like whenever the hell he wants to. He shows up in Riku's mind and Chain of Memories. He just happens to exist beyond the Door of Darkness in Kingdom Hearts 1. And then in Kingdom Hearts 2, he just kind of like shows up out of nowhere to occasionally revive Sora when he falls. And like Mickey's journey is ultimately sacrificial, as the journey of most space players are, often getting shoved to the back of the narrative like Jade, and also having to be put through rigorous trials to ascend, like Caliborn, and Mickey's like whole like becoming like a Keyblade master and stuff. Like I feel very, very strongly about the Lord of Space here. Now you may be thinking to me like, hold on, Minty, if he's a lord, then who's his muse? And we'll get to that, but I want to hear your thoughts about Mickey first.
My thoughts for Mickey Mouse are Rogue of Hope.
Rogue of Hope?
I have him as a Rogue of Hope, mainly because, like, similar to what you said about when he revives you in Kingdom Hearts 2, it's just because he comes there every once in a while to just kind of give others hope.
Yeah, he doesn't really do much outside of that, and even then it's not guaranteed whenever you die.
I mean, yeah, thanks, Mickey, but not thanks for the other time, because now I'm dead. That's about it. I'm sorry. Like
that's okay. Listen, this is always a work in progress, and if people don't like it, they can just make their own Kingdom Hearts episode. Who says that you can't make a Kingdom Hearts episode? Are you listening to this? Are you thinking, oh wow, I know Kingdom Hearts better than these two chuckle fucks on the internet? Go ahead, do it. Fight me podcast style, and then I'll respond to your podcast in Kingdom Hearts 2.5, Will at Homestuck, final chapter Master Redux. Fight me. Anyways,
fight me.
Xehanort, if you're following what I was saying before, you probably can figure out exactly what I think Xehanort is, and this is a little spicy. I feel like maybe this might be a little bit of controversial, but first off, he is definitely a time player. His entire thing is around time travel and manipulating time travel to the point where he can just like pull himself together, but ultimately it's not really for himself. I mean, he wants to summon Kingdom Hearts. He wants to get the X-Blade or the Keyblade or however the fuck you pronounce it. I don't know. If I say X-Blade, you probably know what I mean. It's the one with
stupid.
The weird handle.
It
looks so stupid. Well, no, it doesn't look stupid. It actually looks really fucking cool. But how the hell do you hold it? It's like a handle in the middle? How do you hold the Keyblade? But he is the muse to Mickey's lord. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like he's literally a time portal for people to walk through. Like, he is just kind of, he doesn't really do much with the time travel because of these stupid arbitrary time travel rules inside Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, like I legitimately think he is a muse of time. He is very, very, very passive. He acts through others. He inspires others via his Norting powers to just like take over them, possess them, kind of like we have seen the only other muse do, and he manipulates them through time. He's definitely not a space player because he really, really doesn't like being alone. I mean, I guess you could call him muse of space, but then we would have like two Lord of Space and Muse of Time. I think is a very, very interesting reversal, especially because of Homestuck proper. I definitely didn't do this because of that, but also look at him. He's very, very in the shadows for the entire plot of like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3, all of the others. How many times do you see Xehanort inside canon? Like almost nothing until we start to get to the end of the story, a la Homestuck style with all Calliope.
Well, I mean, yeah, it works. Cause like I didn't think of class-specting him mainly because like he's not in the game physically. He's just kind of like it's one of his other selves being the only one that really is doing something, which is Xemnas, not
exactly.
Ansem.
He's just not there for like the entire time.
Yeah. And you're saying he's a what again?
A muse of time.
Okay, Muse of Time.
I will die on this. Fight me.
I can agree. Even though I don't think it's much of like time, because it's like, sure, he's affecting things like through the passage of time, but he's not using time to its fullest, as in like, sure, he does one thing in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, but he doesn't actually do it any other time. He just kind of uses it one time to bring the whole him verse together. And then and that's just like one of it. But he is affecting time by constantly causing issues throughout time, such as like just his presence in different parts of time affect time, I guess. But like he only does the time thing once.
He does it more, but it's not in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's in
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3. And also, I guess, in the DLC.
Wait, DLC for what?
For Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh,
No,
okay.
actually, I think it's just the end game of Kingdom Hearts 3 because they're like, oh gosh, Xehanort is a portal for all other Xehanorts to like come out of. And so then they go inside Xehanort to that one big fancy castle world and then fight Xehanort inside there. It doesn't make very much sense.
I need to
This is
watch.
Kingdom Hearts,
I
baby.
need to watch Remind again because my God, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I did. What the fuck? It just said they walked
What the
into
fuck is
him.
Remind and why is it like this?
I just
I
thought.
don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
understand. Yeah, I'm not a Kingdom Hearts expert. I am just a girl on the internet, just an e-girl on the internet that's doing my best. Just a digital girl made of ones and zeros.
Oh man.
Oh fuck, am I a data copy?
Oh no. You.
But the last note that I have, that I think that is most important to talk about, like this Homestuck stuff, to wrap it all up, is that Axel is the best himbo.
Okay, no, you listen here. I am not freaking fake. I will not allow Axel to be a himbo because he is a freaking string bean. How dare you bring this into my house?
I mean, listen, he's just a big, lovable dumbass that respects women and would die for Sora and his friends. And he's definitely not. He's definitely not that bright.
Yeah,
He's
he's
definitely
not.
a himbo.
I mean,
He's the good kind of himbo, though.
of course he is, but like, it's freaking Axel. I just like, I get your point, but every time I look at Axel, I just think he doesn't have the physique of a himbo.
We have not seen shirtless Axel.
Okay, but like when you see him like wearing regular clothes other than the jacket in Kingdom Hearts 3, he is skinny as all heck.
Hey, you never know. He might be jacked underneath there.
Oh my god. No.
How else do you explain the fact that he is able to throw those chakrams with like a perfect arc? Axel is a himbo.
Terra is a himbo, not Axel. I refuse. I refuse.
Wait, did you just say Sora is a himbo?
No, I said Terra.
Terra. All right. You know what? I'll take that. That's canon too. All right. Do we have any more that we want to class spec? I mean, the only thing I have on here is Goofy is a Knight of Life because he fucking dies in Kingdom Hearts 2 and then comes back and he ultimately just serves the kingdom, which is riches, aka life. But like, I don't know. There's not really much to like Goofy and Donald. I mean, somebody will probably get mad when I say that. And if that's the case, you are more than welcome to block me on Twitter. That's at RPG eGirl. I changed it because I am indecisive. Just block me. You know what? If you want to get mad at me, just block me on Twitter. That's it. Listen, you don't have to come into my mentions and start yelling at me. Just block me.
Okay, but like, I mean, being honest about Donald and Goofy, they are kind of just there to help you out in the game. They don't do anything else. But I do love both of them because I love Disney in the same way that everybody loves Disney, which is slightly hating it every once in a while. But I just can't see them doing anything that would really give them a class effect. As for, yeah, but like, as for anything else I have that's just kind of random, like for example, I put Mickey Mouse, Daisy, and Minnie and Pete into a group of four because it's a group of four because I thought that'd be interesting. So the one I have for Daisy is Fear of Life, which I cannot remember why I gave her that. So let's move on to Minnie, which is a Self of Breath, because
Ooh. I mean, I think her entire like arc inside of Kingdom Hearts 2 is surrounded by the timeless river. She also like throws out holy every once in a while when people get close inside of there. And I mean, I guess she does kind of heal freedom, but like ultimately, and this really really sucks because it happens to almost all of the female characters inside of Kingdom Hearts, but she's ultimately just a background character.
yeah, she is. Let's be honest.
Except for Larxene.
Yeah.
She's the best.
She's
She's
like
the best girl.
she does so much in like Rechain of Memories, and so does Marluxia. But we're talking about Larxene here. I just love her because she just uses freaking ninja shadow clone jutsu on you.
She's so good. I could just like stare at a picture of Larxene forever. I don't want to entirely be like, oh, she's my waifu or whatever. No, fuck that. No, she's just neat. I like her. I want to look like her. I think it would be cool to be like her as well. I like Larxene. Larxene is very, very good.
But yeah, that's what I have for Daisy and Minnie. And I know I had it like the thing is when I was doing the Disney characters, I was basically thinking I'm going to look up their personalities, like their base personalities in general, to figure out their class specs, and then write nothing down to remind myself why I did it. My God.
Yeah, I mean, I see Sylph of Breath. There isn't really much
Yeah.
for to support that a class spec for any of them. They're just kind of like background characters. Like background characters, do we want to ship them together?
Yes, I love those two together. It's like so perfect. I love those two together.
So I don't think we should ship every single character
No.
together. I don't like that. There's too many characters inside Kingdom Hearts for us to do that. So I think we should start off with the most important one, which is Sora and Kairi.
Okay, listen. Let me break down how I feel about the Destiny Trio in general. Clearly, what they wanted to do was put Sora and Kyrie together. But what they ended up doing was Kyrie so boring and useless to the plot or do anything that it's basically like she is just a damsel in distress, which makes the whole conversation about their relationship so boring. So people will pair Sora with Riku, which works so much better because they're a battle couple, and I love that.
They are a battle couple. Like I haven't like played all of the Remind ones, but like the little fight where you have like Sora and Kairi fighting together. Oh, that's
It is
incredible.
because they're finally fighting together, and we're finally getting what we thought we were going to get in the first place, which was them being a couple and doing stuff. So the only way to make this fair is to put all three of them together and just say Sora has two hands.
Sora does have two hands, which is why I would like to propose the following. So Sora and Kairi are moirails. They are more or less like for each other, but they don't really ever like do anything like explicitly romantic. Like you know that they want to be romantic, but they're just really good friends.
They just kind of like, because like half of like the plot parts where they're taught like where they go into Disney World and they like Sora's reminded of Kyrie, it feels less like romantic and more like a moralance or however the proper term is. Because he's just missing her. It doesn't really seem like he's romantically in love with her. He just misses her.
Yeah. They're just kind of like supporting roles for each other. Like Sora's entire quest in Kingdom Hearts 1 is just like to get to Kairi and also Riku, but then it turns out that Riku doesn't want to be my friend. So I guess I'm just going to go after Kairi.
Yeah.
And then like yeah, there's so much for there. So not Riku. Sora, Kairi, Moirails?
That is perfect. I think
Okay.
I actually have that now.
All right, then what about Sora and Riku?
Of course, that one's perfect. It's
What quadrant do we want to put these two in? Because I feel like there is a quadrant here. I'm not sure if it's pitch. I don't entirely know if they would hate fuck each other.
oh god, no. Like they don't like they're in a relationship that's kind of like a rivalry, but they also care for each other a lot more than you would get from like a pitch relationship.
Yeah, it feels like pitch in Kingdom Hearts 1, but then it gets a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's not quite like every single person inside this game is just friends with each other because Disney is ultimately a coward and doesn't want to put gay relationships inside any of their properties that is associated with them. And honestly, I feel like that Riku and Sora should kiss.
Yes. Just come on. They're
like, so I'm just gonna make them flush for each other.
yes, that's what we should do. Like, come on.
Yeah.
They could be pitched for each other in Kingdom Hearts 1 and they could be flushed in Kingdom Hearts 2 because that's what it looks like. Like, there's literally, like, at the end of Kingdom Hearts, they have defeated Ansem. They go to the Realm of Darkness and both of them are chill with the idea of just staying there forever because they defeated Ansem. Like, neither of them protest. They're just like, well, shit, I guess we're just gonna stay in the Realm of Darkness and chill forever.
They're just gonna be there together. They're just best friends and also smooch buddies for the rest of their life.
You're just homies hanging out.
Let's keep the 4 groups together.
Yes.
The groups of 4 together. So, Sora and Naminé.
Like, they have a weird relationship. I wouldn't put them in any project because it just feels weird. Because, like, considering what Naminé did to him, it's like, oh, sup? Hey, just awkward friends I can imagine.
Yeah, you call it Chain of Memories, but you might as well just call it Chain of Gaslighting, because all Naminé does is really just gaslight people and then makes it canon.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like that's, like, the supreme form of gaslighting, honestly. Not the supreme. It's not the best. It's just kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you actually did that? Okay, that's kind of fucked up. All right.
I guess we could be friends because Disney doesn't want to deal with actual issues such as, gaslighting a person and how emotions work.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're awkward friends. And that is it.
They're just kind of like awkward friends that are off in the distance. I think, like, they would be... this feels a little weird, but I think Naminé, like, especially with how she was in canon, would be treated as an auspice for Riku and Sora.
I like that. That's very good.
Because, like, sometimes their relationship does vacillate to pitch.
Yeah, I could imagine them just getting really worked up with each other, and then Nami's just like, chill, you two, just calm the fudge down.
Yeah, and she uses her crazy mind power shit to just kind of like be like, oh, you two were upset about nothing?
No, that's terrible.
Now you are upset about nothing.
That's terrible. Oh my god.
It is terrible, but also Naminé is kind of like... Her powers are also kind of terrible.
Oh
I don't...
my gosh.
Yeah, no, you know what? You're right. I kind of think about that, and I kind of want to take that back. That's kind of bad.
That is bad.
I think she'd make a good auspice, though.
She is, but
though
she doesn't
there would
use
be
her
a little bit of...
powers. She does not use her powers.
Yeah. There would be like a little bit of a lack of trust between them.
Oh, yeah. Dang. I never considered this.
All right. How about Kairi and Riku?
Well, they're, like... I always imagine them just kind of talking, like, knowing each other very well and talking to each other. But you can't have... Well, I mean, I guess you could have 2 boy rails, right?
I mean, traditionally, no. But yeah, I mean... It's not exactly a bad thing if everybody's moirails with each other, because that's, like, the realistic thing. The only thing I feel really, really strongly about in terms of Moira allegiance is that King Mickey and Riku are moirails.
Oh, yeah, because they've just had way too much time together. Riku's sad about darkness and stuff, and then Mickey's like, don't worry about it. That was a terrible Mickey voice. I didn't even try.
All right. So, like, I feel in terms of, like, shipping, there is, like, I guess Mickey x Sora? No, there's nothing there. Mickey and Kairi? Also nothing. Oh, hold on. Axel and Kairi.
They could.
Oh, those are just moirails again.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. With Kingdom Hearts, it's either moirails or it's either flushed if they're, like, the same age. Because, like, Axel is, like, Because if we're thinking in time, like in time frame here, Axel's the same age as Ventus in Birth by Sleep, which means that if he is older, if he's an adult in Kingdom Hearts 2, he has to be at least in his 20s.
I like mid-20. Gosh, fuck. Oh, right. I need to show you something.
But
I'm going to say these words to you, and you're going to be like, no, never say them to me ever again.
okay.
And I would like to hit you with this idea, and it's Youth Pastor Lee.
No, why? 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 Explain yourself. Why? I just. I, I just want to know why. Why would these words even need to be together? It just sounds terrible. Do you have your... Oh my god, I hate this. No! No! What the fuck?
Think about it.
No.
Just let Youth Pastor Lee
do you...
hear your sins. Confess your sins to Youth Pastor Lee.
No, this is terrible. I want this to burn. Terrible. I hate this. It's such a bad idea. I hate it. Because all I can imagine is Lee saying, you got your Bible verses memorized.
All right, it's time to come to my favorite scripture, John 6:25. Got it memorized?
I can't. This is the worst thing I've ever.
Welcome to the hell that is my mind.
Oh my god, I hate that. I hate it so much. It's so terrible. I can't stop thinking about how funny that would be. He just says that every time during Bible study. He just won't stop saying, "Got it memorized."
Got it memorized. Yeah, he's just a shitty like youth pastor that just kind of like sits around there and is like, "Hey kids, have you let your heart fall into darkness?
No!
The Lord can save you."
No. I can't believe this is the joke that ends in...
That's literally the joke. There's nothing else to it. It's just Youth Pastor Lee.
It's
Anyways,
so funny. What are we doing? What?
How about we go to Vriska Town?
Oh god, it's Larkine, but we can't use Larkine because all she does is an optional boss battle in Kingdom Hearts 2. So our best bet here is Maleficent.
Maleficent? Come on.
Yeah, that's weak. Crap. What would be a good... Oh my gosh, I can't think of anything.
All right. If that's the case, then...
Yeah, sorry.
I feel like my classpect of them made it obvious, but I'm going to hit you with this, is that it's Riku. Riku is the Vriska. And I've done a lot of thought about this. And if you go back onto my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DNDegirl, whatever, that's not a promo, what? In my Kingdom Hearts 1 playthrough on Peter Pan, like, this is when it occurred to me, is that Riku just does a bunch of shit. Bunch of really, really bad shit. He falls into darkness. He comes in with the wrong people and is emotionally manipulated by individuals who he respects and just does a bunch of shit, which ultimately is just him, like, stealing the spotlight in most of the themes. Like, the moment that anything good happens to Sora in there, Riku is there to stop them. True. Gloat. Riku is there to steal the spotlight for a little bit and just be like, oh, look at me. And then Sora's like, oh, no, but we can still be friends, Riku. And then Riku is like, no, because he's a dumbass. Which, like, that hits the Vriska, you know, dumbass. Just has a maternal figure that doesn't really listen to him at all. And he just kind of fucks up a lot.
Okay, listen, I get that that's very Vriska, but also you have to consider the fact that that's Kingdom Hearts 1, we are in Kingdom Hearts 2, which means we literally have, like, the only person that fits that bill in, like, Kingdom Hearts too, but doesn't actually do anything. It's Zigbar, and I know you don't know who the heck Zigbar is.
He's the card dude, right?
No, that is Lexord.
Luxor.
Lexord is the man that will say, pick a card, and then, oops, looks like I turned you into a card. But I love that guy. Anyway, but like Zigbar is kind of the Vriska, but he doesn't actually do anything to make him really the Vriska. And then like we have Xemnas, who isn't the Vriska because he's just doesn't have emotions and all of that jazz. Like there's no one that really fits the bill for Vriska.
We can just not have a Vriska.
Like, I can't think of anyone that genuinely fits the bill for Vriska in Kingdom Hearts 2 because everyone's just kind of like there and being kind of evil at times. And unless you give it to Sayax. Sayax can work. I hate the boss battle though because like he just said you have to, if you die multiple times you're just gonna have to hear him say, Moon, Kingdom Hearts, give me power, and then he proceeds to bash you with his freaking berserker thing, whatever that is. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's just very fun. His claymore, it's just but he kind of fits.
I'm watching this. It kind of fits, but I feel like we should give it to someone who's a little bit more of like a main character. Let me hit you with this. Axel.
Okay, I can understand because but he's not really being told what to do. He's just kind of doing his own thing. He's just like,
he's just kind of doing his own thing. He's a little bit no thoughts, head empty, and he just. I don't know. I just look at Axel and I'm like, that guy's a Vriska. Or that guy would stand Vriska. That guy would be a Vriska. I know, that's right. He's just a Vriska stan, isn't he?
But, I mean, it's close enough.
I still feel very strongly about Riku, but we can just agree that there is none in Kingdom Hearts 2, that there is no Vriska.
Yes, I think we can. Unless you like, maybe we just ignore my comment on Sayax, I guess. Yeah, let's just go with, sadly, there is no Vriska.
Ooh, all right. No Vriska. No Vriska ever. Vriska is canceled. Completely gone. Forever. And I think that's going to do it for us today. I have been Minty. You can find me online at RPGEgirl. And you can find Mo at MOE_SICK. That's at Mo6. This has been Will It Homestuck. And I think we can sufficiently say that the answer is yes. Stay safe out there and don't let your heart fall into darkness. Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, follow us on Twitter at WillItHomestuck. If you want to support the show, check out our Patreon and Ko-fi, both of which are at WillItHomestuck. And don't forget to check out our weekly fanfiction streams on twitch.tv at WillItHomestuck. And you can even join in on our community streams the first Monday of every month. Join us again next episode when we wrap up the Adventure Zone Balance arc.